Hey friends, in this video we're going to be talking about chronic illness and chronic disease and how that relates to the emotion code and the body code. I recently received some comments on my Instagram posts about asking kind of how you could go about targeting chronic illness or chronic disease with the emotion code and the body code. And so I wanted to dive into that deeper with a YouTube video. So, first off, let's start out by answering this question right off the bat. Can you heal chronic disease and illness with the emotion code and the body code? The short answer is no. The emotion code and the body code are not cures, they're not treatments or a way to heal anything. They are simply modalities. But in this video, I am going to dive into how they can be a powerful tool on your healing journey, and they can help lessen the burden on your body so that your body can do what it does best: heal itself. In case we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm a certified emotion code and body code practitioner, and I'm looking forward to getting certified in the belief code someday soon. They keep telling me, I've been emailing back and forth with the staff, and they've been telling me all year, it's coming soon, because I really want to do the online version of it. I don't want to fly out to Las Vegas and go to the in-person trainings. So I am holding out for the online certification, and now they're saying it should be here by the end of this year, but they also said that it would be here at the beginning of the year. So I'm just trying to be patient, but I am very excited to take this certification. The emotion code has completely transformed my life, and it's a powerful tool that I think everyone should know about. So I'm going to be trying to make more videos about the emotion code here on YouTube. I want to share a little bit of my story of how I found the emotion code, because I actually found the emotion code out of pretty much pure desperation. I was burnt out working my brick and mortar practice. I was struggling emotionally, and I was really struggling after a car accident with anxiety and panic. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I was suffering from chronic lower back pain, and it was just really miserable. And I got to this point where I was like, I cannot live my life this emotionally out of whack forever. I need help. And so I started researching, trying to find ways to support myself emotionally, because I was already doing a lot of the things that typically help with pain and healing holistically. I had invested in a sauna to have in my tiny little apartment. I did lymphatic enhancement technology. I did red light therapy. I went to acupuncture. I went to the chiropractor. I went to medical doctors and holistic doctors. I was doing everything possible to try and heal. And as a practitioner, I was also able to then share these things I found with my clients, and it was helping my clients. But I had reached this roadblock where no one ever told me to look at emotions as a side of healing until I went to one psychologist for talk therapy, and she had this device where she was able to record my voice and create some sound therapy for me to listen to while I was in her office. Those sessions were very expensive. I could not take the music home, but that was something that did significantly help my emotions. So that was really the first thing that I found any relief with emotions. But even then, I didn't realize just how much emotions were affecting me and my back pain and the anxiety and the struggles I had with driving my car and even being in a car in general, or even thinking about having to drive. So as you can imagine, if you've ever experienced a panic attack, this was getting very old and very exhausting, driving to and from work, then having to work on clients, and I just felt like I was on a hamster wheel. So I ended up coming across the emotion code from an Instagram search. I was searching emotional healing, just trying to type in anything I could think of, and I found a emotion code practitioner who said she was a Christian. And at this point, I was still very skeptical of energy healing, even though I had been in this holistic world for so long and was so open to so many things. I wasn't convinced. So when I saw that she was also a believer, I I decided, okay, I'm gonna check this out. So I went through her page and I tried booking with her, but I couldn't book with her for like months. She was booked out. So I looked up what is this modality that she's using that she can do from a distance. I'll just figure out how to do it myself. So I found the emotion code, ended up signing up for the certification course like the next day. It might have been the same day, I don't know. I felt so drawn to it and I just knew it was from God. I knew God led me to this new thing. Going into it, I had no idea what I was signing up for, but I thought it was the next thing I needed to do. And boy, am I so happy that I listened to that nudge and that I did that because this completely changed my life. And side note, if you didn't know this, back when I signed up to be a massage therapist, I was going to go through the course. It was like a 1,000-hour program. I had never actually had a massage before either. So here's your encouragement of the day to go for things that you're not so sure about, that you don't totally understand. If you're feeling that nudge, like this is the next thing for you, because every time I do that, every time I listen to that still small voice, it is exactly the thing I was supposed to do. And looking back, I can just see how God totally orchestrated each and every step of the way. So the emotion code immediately started helping me heal. I had immediate results. Having the ability to start releasing trapped emotions from myself slowly but surely started making changes in my mental state, my pain levels, and even in my business. So I had some immediate relief, I had some immediate help, and then a lot of it took some time as well. Soon after finding the emotion code and starting to release trapped emotions, I also found the AO scanner. I had previously been using a different bioresonance technology in my practice, and the AO scan technology far exceeded its capabilities. Sometime I'll have to do a video comparing the two. So I signed up with Solex, the AO scan, and now I had two new offerings for my clients that helped them more than what I had been previously doing with cell core protocols and bioresonance scans and lymphatic enhancement technology and all the other tools that I had in my practice. I was now able to help my clients more than I ever could before, and within a couple of months, I was actually letting go of my successful brick and mortar practice and going completely virtual as an emotion code practitioner and quantum living advocate. This was something I had dreamed of being able to do, and I knew it was how I would be able to end up helping more people because I felt so limited in my brick and mortar. I could help one person at a time, and a lot of times sessions would take quite a bit of time. Just sit there with each person and go through all of the scans and muscle tests and do all the different things. And so to be able to go virtual and help people in shorter amounts of time more effectively was just a total godsend. I had been praying for ways to help people from a distance. And because I had been advertising on Instagram too, I did have quite a few people always asking me, can you do those scans virtually? And at the time, it was very expensive for me to be able to do virtual scans with the previous bioresonance device that I had. So I really wasn't offering it because it just didn't seem feasible. And it just didn't make sense for me to have to charge so much just for someone to have a virtual scan that they would actually need to have done more than once. So ultimately, this is what I had been dreaming of. This is what I had been praying for. And the emotion code and the AO scan helped me be able to go this route of going virtual. And it was incredible to get to change my entire life in this way. And now to fully be able to allow my body to truly heal, not doing such a physical job, because a lot of what I did was with lymphatic enhancement um, technology. And so I was up, and that was what I had been using to replace doing massage therapy, which massage therapy was extremely physical. And after getting in that car accident, massage therapy was something I realized I was not going to be able to do because it would just exacerbate the pain. So, finding that lymphatic enhancement technology helped me to be able to not be quite as hands-on, but I was still hands-on. I don't know if you have ever seen those different electrolymphatic machines where it's like two wands and you work on the person, and then I had a medi-cupping machine. So it was still pretty physical when we would do those types of sessions. And that way I had currently been working with my clients was exhausting me and draining me. And like I said earlier, I could only help clients who were in my area, not from a distance. So my body needed a break, my mind needed a break. I just also needed to learn how to set boundaries for myself and heal emotionally, especially as an empath. And the emotion code and inner voice, the part of the AO scanner that is the sound therapy, helped me have a complete 180, not just in my emotional and mental health, but in my physical health and in my business, like I just shared with you. So, what exactly is the emotion code? The emotion code is a modality created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He found in his practice, he had a chiropractic practice, that emotions seem to be the root of most of the persisting issues that he saw in his patients. He found that emotions could get trapped in the body. Emotions are supposed to go through a series of steps. They get created by our organs. Yep, if you didn't know that, our organs do generate emotions. We then experience the emotion, and then the energy of that emotion is supposed to leave our body. That's it. It should be very simple. So, how does an emotion get trapped? An emotion can get trapped when the emotional process, like we just went over those steps, gets interrupted for any reason. So, for example, if we created the emotion of sadness, but didn't allow ourselves to fully feel and experience that emotional energy would then have the potential to get trapped and lodged in our body. Trapped emotions can be from any time in our life, from the time you are a baby, your childhood. Just think about how, if you know anything about the subconscious mind, you know that in the first 7 years of our life, that is what's influencing the rest of our life subconsciously. And a lot of trapped emotions can happen from the time we are before we're 7 years old. Trapped emotions can also be inherited, so any traumas that your great 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 grandparents, your parents, all of the lineage before you trapped themselves, if they never dealt with those different emotional wounds, a lot of those can have the potential to be passed on to you. Trapped emotions can also be absorbed from others, and I found this to be so true as a massage therapist. When I started releasing trapped emotions from myself, I found so many trapped emotions in my hands and my fingers, absorbed from clients. And as I went through releasing each one, actually the thought of each client, the specific client, would come up. It was wild. It was the most bizarre experience I've had with the emotion code. But back then, when I went through massage therapy school, no one taught us about protecting our own energy and not not feeling um, not feeling like we needed to take on what they were going through, because in the massage world, if you're a massage therapist or if you have ever gone to a massage, maybe you felt that urge to just start spilling things to your therapist, kind of like a hairstylist. The hairstylist and the massage therapist kind of end up being the cheaper um, therapists, because you don't have to pay as much to go to us, but then everyone seems to dump all their stuff. And while this is amazing that you can be that safe space for someone, it really is not our job, and we're not trained for that. And I remember feeling so much emotion for so many of my clients who were going through different things and wanting so desperately to be able to help them. And they would always feel better after they left. But I was always feeling so much worse and feeling like I was just carrying these heavy burdens home with me every night. And once I learned about the emotion code, I started realizing, oh my goodness, how many emotions have I absorbed being so empathetic and not setting good enough boundaries for myself? Oh my gosh. So, yes, trapped emotions can be absorbed, and maybe you don't have as many as someone like a massage therapist or a hairstylist might have from their job, but you can absorb them in a lot of different situations. Trapped emotions are anywhere from the size of your clenched fist to a cantaloupe. Now, I have a feeling this question is going to come up, so I'm just going to read to you a direct message I got on Instagram on this topic from one of my clients. She said, "I'm so excited I joined your 3 group sessions. I have been doing emotion code, body code on my family this year, and I love it. My question is, if each trapped emotion is that big, how do they all fit? And will we ever get to where we've released all of them and it's just kind of maintenance, if that makes sense?" And I'm just going to read my reply to you. That is a great question. I would think since they're energy, they aren't totally confined to one area and can probably all cram into one space. So we have to think, this isn't like matter. We're not putting physical cantaloupes into a space. These are energy, which would really cause a lot of range of motion issues, stagnation, blockages, etc. But this is all theory since we can't actually see them. So I hope that helps address the question about the size of these trapped emotions and what that might be like as they are in our body. Now to address the part about, can you release all your trapped emotions? So far, I have not met anyone who released all of their trapped emotions. It's more like we're releasing until we get to a place where we feel good. This is really basing it off of, are you still having panic attacks? Are you still having anxiety? Are you still suffering from that pain? So yes, maintenance and working towards different goals is really our main focus. Because when you think about it, each person is going to have such a different life's history. And the way trauma and the way emotional imbalances affect one person is going to be very different in the next person. So there's no one-size-fits-all answer to these questions. I've had clients who released all of their emotions from their specific organs or their joints, but there's always the potential that we can trap more too. Our goal should hopefully be that we are learning how to heal emotionally along the journey of releasing trapped emotions. This way, we are working through our emotions instead of stuffing them down. And I wanted to just address that second part of the question too, because that's another really common question I get is, well, how long is this going to take for me to release all my trapped emotions? And I have been doing this for a long time now, and I have not released all of my trapped emotions, but I had a 180 very quickly starting this. And now I definitely use it as needed. I include myself in my group sessions, and I work on things that come up. But if I could say I reached my goal and then I quit, I did reach my goal that I had, finding the emotion code, and I exceeded that goal. But now I never want to give up having the emotion code as a tool because it is so powerful, and it's like peeling back the layers of the onion. You continually are opening up new levels of healing, deep emotional healing that you didn't even know you were ever going to be ready to address, and maybe you never really even knew that there was an issue there. So it's kind of an ongoing experience and an ongoing journey of healing, just like life. So the average person has anywhere from hundreds to thousands of trapped emotions, depending on their life's experience and their inherited traumas. Here's a visual I made a while back to try to show how we can be carrying these burdens around in our body. Dr. Bradley Nelson found that we can identify and release trapped emotions with muscle testing. Very, very simple. You've probably experienced muscle testing already if you've ever been to a chiropractor or a natural doctor of some kind. Muscle testing is also known as applied kinesiology. And I remember asking so many people, as a practitioner, where did you learn how to muscle test? Can you teach me how to muscle test? No one ever gave me any answers. I bought books that did not make any sense, and I went from place to place searching for someone to just teach me how to muscle test. And once I learned, I was like, why is this so difficult to get anyone to teach me? It's so simple. Muscle testing works by communicating with the subconscious mind. It's a form of biofeedback. By pressing down on the body, like on the arm or the wrist, like you saw in that picture on the previous slide, we can get a response from the body when we ask a question. We aren't asking questions to any kind of entity or source. We're simply bypassing the conscious mind and getting feedback from the subconscious mind, which controls up to 99.99999% of our life and our intelligence. So you can learn more about the subconscious mind over on my Instagram, Caitlin Simmons Official. I have a whole highlight bubble on it there. I also teach more about it in my social media course, the Breakthrough Babes Bootcamp. But basically, our subconscious mind stores information from our entire life. From pathogens we've been exposed to the interactions we've had with people back when we were children, to inherited things from generations and generations back, and of course, the information about each trapped emotion in your body. You can think of your subconscious mind like a giant supercomputer or a giant filing cabinet that can be accessed through muscle testing. So with muscle testing, we can find out where the trapped emotions are, and we can get really specific and look for trapped emotions that are attributing to specific issues and symptoms going on in the body. We can even find out if they're absorbed, inherited, prenatal, what year they were from, what trimester, when you were in the womb. The subconscious mind has it all stored. And according to Dr. Bradley Nelson, just one trapped emotion can decrease the immune system's function by up to 20%. So back to that question I got in my comments on Instagram, asking me to talk more about how we could use the emotion code and the body code for healing chronic illness and chronic disease. Now, these are not healing modalities that are going to be actually facilitating healing. We are able to remove burdens from the body. And if you can think about how just one of those little burdens can be affecting the immune system this much, then I think that helps answer that question. Just releasing your trapped emotions is going to be helping your body do what it does best better. I've found that trapped emotions can also be attributing to organ issues. Since stagnant energy blocks flow, of course, this makes sense. I have a video over on my Instagram about, it was a repost of this guy hitting a sound bowl. And then when you hit the sound bowl with the mallet, the sound flows and you can hear it and it's beautiful. But if he holds his other hand on the sound bowl and then hits it with the mallet, it's just a dull sound and it doesn't reverberate. It's not beautiful. So imagine that if you have these trapped emotions that are like putting your hand on the sound bowl, blocking the reverberation, that's blocking flow. When we release trapped emotions in the liver and the gallbladder, I always get tons of reports of clients reporting back to me that they were passing liver flukes and getting relief from liver gallbladder symptoms. Same goes for all the other organs. When you remove the burdens and you remove the energetic blocks, things can flow and the body can do what it does best. So anyone on a healing journey should be releasing trapped emotions, specifically from their organs as well, because this is removing such a huge burden from their organs, and depending on if that was the major root cause of what was going on with them, it can be what turns things around for good. And what's so beautiful about this work is it is permanent. Once you release these trapped emotions, they're not coming back. Which brings me to the heart wall. Dr. Bradley Nelson also found that trapped emotions can get lodged around the heart as a sort of protective mechanism. He calls this the heart wall. Having a heart wall can block blood flow, cause chest and shoulder pain, block us from feeling different emotions that were once painful, block us from finding or being open to receiving love, block abundance and prosperity, and so much more. Trapped emotions can be responsible for a lot, like you have probably seen by now this far through the video. They can be attributing to pain. Dr. Bradley Nelson believes that up to 90% of pain can be traced back to trapped emotions being the root cause. Can you imagine how many people would be helped if they just knew about the emotion code? Chronic things that never seem to end. also are helped by releasing trapped emotions, because trapped emotions are always influencing your subconscious mind, which we know is influencing our entire reality. Trapped emotions can be blocking us from love and abundance and success, happiness, peace, healing, and meaningful relationships. It's like carrying the trauma through your life, but not just the memory of the trauma. It's like the actual, it's like your body is remembering it and creating a safeguard, like, can't let that happen again, so I'm just gonna block you from ever dating anyone again, or ever making more than enough money ever, or it's not safe for you to sleep, or I'm going to keep that pain there to remind you of what happened before. So I could keep going on and on and on forever about trapped emotions and how much they are causing havoc in our body, but I don't want this video to go on forever. So I'm going to leave it there. I think that you kind of get the point by now. Trapped emotions are responsible for a lot. And I love how Deborah Bruce says that the cause of the cause of the cause starts with emotions. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't focus on anything else when it comes to our health, but it does mean that we cannot truly and fully heal without addressing our emotional health, which is what I found after trying everything. I needed to get to the emotions. And man, I mean, before I found the emotion code in the AO scan, I hit a roadblock and I was so stuck. And this is what turned my life around. Until you address your emotions, you really cannot fully heal. So how can you start to release your trapped emotions? Easiest way is to learn how on your own by reading the Emotion Code book. I will link that book in the description for you. The next way is to work with a certified practitioner. I am a certified practitioner. My schedule is pretty booked, but I also offer groups. You can start releasing your trapped emotions by joining groups facilitated by a certified practitioner who is trained in facilitating groups. You can find a practitioner that resonates with you. You can also listen to inner voice tones from the AO scanner. This is incredible. I love muscle testing after listening to my inner voice tones to see how many trapped emotions I released from listening to that. I have other videos on inner voice if you'd like to watch those here on my YouTube. But for now, just I'll link some information about it down in the description as well. You can learn more by following me over on Instagram at Caitlin Simmons Official. And I'm really active over in my DMs on Instagram, so that's where the best place is to reach out to me. And of course, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see all of my upcoming videos. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.